fiber is the longevity nutrient.
Yes, it is.
And to me, there's nothing like, if you want to build muscle, you need protein. And I'm not the person to sit here and say protein doesn't matter. I do think we overdo it.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you want to build longevity and you want to be healthier and you want anti-inflammatory, it's fiber.
Right.
And it's through the gut microbes that make that possible.
Right.
This is a story about the symbiotic relationship that we share with these microbes that we have evolved with from day one. They were on this planet actually before we were. And we have come together in a partnership that is our life, where when we consume fiber-rich foods, they release things from the fiber that we're not able to make ourselves.
Right.
And those are the short chain fatty acids.
Yes.
And those are without any doubt in my mind, those are the most anti-inflammatory compounds that exist. So acetate, propionate, and butyrate. And many of these elements of the connection between our gut and inflammation are the result of the acts of these microbes. Because the microbes, not only are they producing the short chain fatty acids, they are the stewards of our gut barrier. So our intestines, the entire tube, which is 20 or 25 feet long, like, so for me, I'm a big guy, probably 25 feet, but for others, 20, the whole thing is carpeted with a single layer of cells. And so we call this the epithelial layer, held together by these proteins that are like the cement that holds bricks together. They're called tight junctions. And it's the microbes that it's their job to help to place those bricks and piece them together using that cement and make the gut barrier strong. And the opportunity that exists with that is actually quite wild.
Right.
Because, so this is actually the area of the greatest cellular turnover of any organ in our entire body. So every 3 to 5 days, we actually install a brand new gut barrier.
Which is good news for most of us.
It's great news, because what that means is that the choices that you're going to make over the next 3 to 5 days will have a really quick impact on your refreshed, brand new, stronger gut barrier that's going to protect your immune system. So this gut barrier, people hear terms like leaky gut and things like this. I actually don't have a problem with it. I don't buy the whole concept of like leaky gut syndrome as a diagnosis, right? I wouldn't make that diagnosis.
Okay.
But the physiology, what's actually happening inside the body is undeniable, which is the disruption of this gut barrier,
Right.
because the microbes are unwell, right? And because we're not consuming fiber.
Okay. And is it the microbes that are unwell, or is it the overgrowth of the ones that aren't beneficial?
Well, you don't get, so you're alluding to small intestine bacterial overgrowth.
Right.
Or also
Dysbiosis.
dysbiosis. Right. And it's both.
Okay.
Because when the beneficial bacteria, which also happen to be the ones that produce short chain fatty acids, when they are well populated, they suppress the bad guys.
Right.
The bad guys don't exist.
Right.
And we know that this is true because there's nothing that will destroy the good bacteria faster than antibiotics.
Right.
And within the context of antibiotics, you and I have both dealt with people who develop infections, because when you get rid of the good guys, you allow the bad guys to surge.
Yes.
And then they can create, an infection. So like, for example, a C. diff infection is the classic thing that develops after antibiotics, but there are many others.
Right.
Right. So, so we know that like the good guys are there to suppress the bad guys, but when the good guys become weak, they're not capable of doing their job. Part of their job is suppressing the bad guys. Part of their job is also maintaining this gut barrier. And part of their job is producing short chain fatty acids.
Right.
The whole system breaks down.
And that's why, in my mind, when I see this trendy carnivore diet, I get so worried for these people. I think we're going to see ramifications for decades on, these kinds of trends because of the lack of fiber. But also, talk to me about the secondary byproducts that having a diet like that produces and what that does to the gut.
That's a great question. Actually, people don't ask me this very often, so I appreciate it. Yeah, so your microbes are going to work, not exactly the same microbes, but in general, this global microbiome that lives mostly inside of your large intestine, and there's 38 trillion of them, they sort of are going to produce stuff no matter what. And it depends on what you sort of give to them. So if you give them fiber, then what they're going to produce are these short chain fatty acids. If you deprive them of fiber and you start loading them up with protein, they're going to start to basically ferment the protein. And this produces many different byproducts, none of which we particularly want.
Right.
So like you can start to produce hydrogen sulfide compounds, which by the way are the reason why farts smell. So, and it comes from the sulfur rich amino acids that exist within red meat or within eggs. Or they're also toxic, and they create inflammation.
Right.
They're going to produce ammonia compounds. And these ammonia compounds are irritating to the gut lining. They've been associated with colorectal cancer. They've been associated with inflammatory bowel diseases. So the bottom line is like these microbes, they're going to be active. Anything that you put into your body is going to ultimately on some level come into contact with these gut microbes, and they're going to change it, and they're going to create transformed products. And we have a choice. We can either feed them anti-inflammatory stuff that allows them to build molecules that will lift us up and have a global effect throughout our entire body, not just on the gut barrier, not just on the immune system, which by the way, there is a powerful effect on the immune system, but throughout the entire body. Or alternatively, we can overwhelm them with protein, and honestly, we're creating like inflammation.